These are 5 PlayStation consoles from Sony. Each of them has some abilities. One can eat money and give nothing in return.
I'm very hungry.
Give me your wallet!
Another can yell at you. But they're all made for gaming. And I made my own ranking as to which console is the best and which of them has the best exclusive games of all time. 5th place, PlayStation 5. Of course, this Pokemon has not yet shown all its abilities to the world. It was released in 2020. The number of sales at the moment is 50 million. The total number of games for it is 2,398, of which really good exclusives can be counted on the fingers of one finger. Here's my extensive ranking of 3 temporary exclusives for this console. 3rd place. There's a genre of games, I don't remember what it's called, when you buy a game to suffer in it. I don't like it, so I can't believe it. I've never played Demon's Souls Remastered. The number of sales at the moment is about 1.4 million units. 2nd place, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is another great temporary exclusive for the whole family, which, if you haven't played, you need to play this masterpiece. 1st place is God of War Ragnarok, which we will soon see on all personal computers in the world without SMS and registration. Why does he always have such a good and friendly face? But don't think that everything is bad with the PS5. I know about Sony's plans. I understood them when I was gathering information for the video. The fact is that GTA 6 will soon be released on PS5, which half the planet Earth is waiting for, if not more, of course, and this game will be around for a year only on consoles, so feel free to multiply the sales by 2. Well, while you're waiting for GTA 6, let me show you one cool game. Today's video is brought to you by World of Warships, the ultimate naval warfare experience. Dive into World of Warships, a free-to-play game available on PC that offers new content every month. With stunning graphics and dynamic weather effects, you'll feel like you're commanding a real fleet on the high seas. Choose from a variety of ship classes, including battleships, destroyers, aircraft carriers, and more. Whether you prefer solo battles or teaming up with friends, World of Warships has something for everyone. Don't forget, World of Warships is also available on consoles, so grab your controller and join the battle. Ready to set sail? Click the link in the description to download World of Warships and use the promo code BRAVO for an epic starter pack. Get 500 doubloons, 1.5 million credits, 7 days of premium account time, and a free ship after 10 battles. So what are you waiting for? Click the link, use the promo code BRAVO, and embark on your naval adventure today. And I'll see you on the high seas. As for the characteristics of our multi-cooker and the equivalent on personal computers, the processor here is Ryzen 7 3700 without X, and our video card analog is AMD Radeon RX 6700. At least the GPU chip itself is the same for 36 computer units, but in terms of VRAM, the PS5 has the characteristics of a higher weight category of graphics cards, namely the RX 6800. 4th place, PS4. No, you're wrong. I didn't put them in the reverse order. Release date 2013, 117 million bricks were sold and 5,680 games were made. There are already more exclusives here, among which I selected 5 of the coolest ones. 5th place, Bloodborne, 2 million sales. If you feel that you have too many nerve cells, then I strongly recommend you to try this wonderful game. Your mental health will be twice as bad. 4th place, Killzone Shadowfall, 2.1 million sales. For its time, it doesn't have bad graphics. The game is from the developers of Horizon. 3rd place, Infamous Second Son, 6 million sales. I think the number of sales speaks for itself. At first glance, the game resembles such a game as a prototype. The main character also has problems with his head. The game also has an open world, but gamers liked Infamous more because at least the plot is better in it. And here, I agree with them. I played Prototype and the 1st and 2nd parts, and I don't remember the plot from it at all. 2nd place, The Last of Us Part 2, 10 million sales. A great game with a great plot, a bit weaker than the 1st part, but still good. I recommend it to those who haven't played it. It is considered a temporary exclusive and will soon appear on PC. 1st place, Gran Turismo Sport, 12.7 million sales. Not a big fan of racing video games, but judging by the number of sales, this exclusive deserves to be in the 1st place in this ranking. Regarding the characteristics of our vacuum cleaner,
What the is this piece of
My God, how long have I been looking for what it is? In general, the GPU is the Radeon HD 7870 with 2 units disabled and the frequency reduced by 200 MHz. And the memory is not 2, but 8 GB. As for the CPU analog, there is no such thing in nature. But here is a hint that these are 2 processors with 4 cores each. That is, the processor in the PS4 at that time had a good supply of cores. 2 CPU Athlon 5150 are most suitable for such characteristics. Third place, PlayStation 1, release date December 1994. 102 million CD/DVD game players were sold. This PlayStation is now the record holder for the number of released games. As many as 8,000 were released at the time of its support. You can only imagine how many discs it will be if you collect them all in one place. And it also had game hits that sold 10 million units. But why only the third place, you ask? And I'll tell you that it is not only about the number of games, but also about their quality. And this console had problems with this. Exclusives, as you understand here, even more. I collected as many as 11 of them, but in order not to waste time, I'll not analyze each exclusive in detail. I'll just say the names. Number 11, Vagrant Story. Number 10, Kagero Deception.
Я маслину поймал.
Number 9, The Legend of Dragoon. Number 8, Rugrats Search for Reptar. Number 7, Parasite Eve. Number 6, Silent Hill, 2 million sales. Well, this is already a sick project. I would have already played it. Number 5, Dino Crisis, 2.4 million sales. These dinosaur death animations make my eye twitch. Number 4, Tekken, 8.3 million sales. Never been a fan of any fighting games, but this game has a lot of fans. Number 3, Spyro the Dragon, 5 million sales. A game about an ordinary guy from Donetsk, Ukraine, who has an unusual hobby of taking rubies from rich traders, storming chests and keeping the loot for himself, and also beating orcs and talking to dragons. Number 2, Crash Bandicoot. 2 games on the second place. In one, 6.8 million. In another, 7 million sales. A game about a cunning fox who constantly runs around stealing apples. Also like the previous hero, this anti-hero has a craving for jewels, but in smaller quantities, because there are less jewels in his area, and he has to choose apples more. God, what the hell am I saying? First place, as last time, Gran Turismo first and second part, 10 million sales each. This console is from the time when power was measured not in teraflops, but in Japanese tape recorders, and now in bottles of moonshine for that collector of garbage at a flea market who found it in a dumpster in good condition. What can we talk about here? If the GPU of the first PlayStation is an ordinary controller with cache memory from HDD Toshiba, and there was no hard disk at all, only a turntable for reading CD-ROMs. The CPU here is also not ordinary, not from Intel, not from AMD, but it has this name and works at a frequency of 33.8688 MHz. This is a completely different architecture and it's difficult to compare them. Well, the RAM was still clear as much as 2 MB, so let the PS1 rest a little, and we move on to second place, where we have the PS3. It was released in 2006 and sold 87 million copies. It is considered the most expensive of the PlayStation consoles, taking into account inflation. Such a new console would now cost $787. 5,143 games can run on it. Quite a few. And I'll tell you that there are not a few good exclusives. I collected as many as 11 games that are not available on Windows. Twisted Metal, Tokyo Jungle. Number 9, Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time, about 500,000 sales. More than one part of this masterpiece was released. I will still remember it on PS2. Number 8, Red Dead Redemption, 1.35 million sales. I think this game needs no introduction. I think one day Rockstar will release it on PC as a remaster. Number 7, Demon's Souls, 1.7 million sales. This is the one that was remastered on PS5, if you remember. Number 6, Infamous 1, 2 million sales. Number 5, Killzone 2, 2 million sales. Number 4, Resistance 3, Resistance Fall of Man, 2.5 million sales. Number 3, God of War 3, 5.2 million sales. By the way, if someone wants to play something similar on PC, then pay your attention to a game like X-Men Origins Wolverine. I guarantee that you'll definitely like this game. It's made on the same engine as the third God of War. Number 2, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, 6.5 million sales. Number 1, Gran Turismo 5, 12 million sales. The console is quite powerful, judging by the fact that the power cable is used here as on a standard personal computers, and also here a kit of 2-cylinder head 50cc2 stock is used for cooling. So it is not difficult to guess that CPU and GPU are on separate chips. They're also not common here like on the PS1. The processor is called Cell Processor Power PC Brace Core at 3.2 GHz, which has as many as 7 SPE cores as I understand it. PowerPC is something I'm familiar with. It seems that similar processors were put into prehistoric Power Mac computers from Apple. And the GPU is some kind of RSX 550 MHz up to 1.8 T-flops. By the way, NVIDIA made it for Sony. As for the equivalent on the PC, there are no options for the CPU here because the architectures are different. As for GPU, it's easier here. In terms of performance and characteristics of RSX like GTX 7800 from NVIDIA, but of course this poor graphics card is not even able to run GTA 5, which works perfectly on PS3 because PS3 games are optimized for PS3. First place is the best-selling console with 158 million units sold, and it is the legendary PlayStation 2. It was released in March 2000. By the way, in comparison with other consoles, no more games were released than other consoles, only 4,000. But in terms of the number of sales of games, it is the record holder of 1.537 billion games sold on this console. And in terms of the number of cool exclusives, in my opinion, it also takes first place. Of them, I found 10 of the coolest. Killzone. Ico. Did not find out how many sales. 8th place, Sly. 1 million sales. A game about a cunning raccoon who takes money from the poor and the rich and keeps it for himself. And also has a tendency to collect bottles of moonshine while robbing workers. You look at the size of the revolver in the hand of that worker, you can easily shoot down airplanes with such a weapon. A cool game with this semi-open Russian world and an interesting plot.
Triple kill!
Number 7, Resident Evil Code Veronica, 1.4 million sales. It is surprising that it was not released on the PC. The game is very interesting, although I have not even played it. Number 6, Shadow of the Colossus, about 1.5 million sales. Number 5, Ratchet & Clank, 2.969 million sales. Even the PS5 has this game. Number 4, Tekken 5, 6 million sales. Complete crap, but people like it. Number 3, God of War 1 and 2, 9 million total sales. This game needs no introduction. Number 2, Final Fantasy X, 8.5 million sales. I'm generally tired of this Final Fantasy. I hear about it from all the irons. There was already a 10th part on PS2. Number 1, Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec, 14.89 million sales. I think I understand why racing games sold so well in those days. You just look at the graphics in this game. It's just incredible for its time. The console was so popular that there was more than one way to play on it for free. Here is one alternative option. You don't even need discs. You buy a memory card, put the so-called FMCP on it, which stands for Free MC Boot. Well, either you buy a card with an already installed FMCB, PS2 games downloaded from the internet are installed on a USB flash drive through the program. All this is connected to the console and played successfully, or not very successfully. As for the equivalent on the PC, the answer to this question was given 24 years ago on some forum about the PC in the distant year 2000. This man created a corresponding topic. The console cost $300, and the PC had to be bought for an inadequate $3,000. God, how old are these guys now? Maybe some of them are not even alive anymore. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you soon.